Ladies and gentlemen, Two Dudes Talk Music in conjunction with E. Brown Industries and Big Jerry Burger brings to you everybody's new favourite game show, Get in the Bin. Now, let's go to our host, Reverend Raph and the beer buddy, Kyle. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We are here again with Pit Viper. We have Steve, Harry, and Jared, and they are going to be talking to us all about the things that they would chuck in the bin, the things they would eliminate from the music business if they could, and why. We are going to get two things from each of them. Gentlemen, however you decide that you want to do them, if you each want to do your two, if you want to do one each and then go around twice, however you want to do it. But if you can give us your first thing you would eliminate from the music business and why.
What do you reckon? Oh, yeah, can I just say pop music?
This is all very personal. So this is literally whatever you want. Like if you just had infinite power and could just snap your fingers and erase it from existence.
Just think. Thanos was being very selfish when he snapped his fingers, so you can be that guy. So pop music.
I think it's a given. And reason, because. Just because.
Fair enough.
And those cunts who you go to a party and you're like, oh yeah, this song's all right. They go, that's not metal. They can fuck right. I fucking people.
I like it. No,
yeah, 100%. Someone was arguing the other week, a few months ago actually, because they were having a whinge about the Knotfest lineup from this year, and they were like, it's not metal, and I'm like, how the fuck is that lineup not metal? I'm like,
Pantera headline the fucking thing?
Yes. I'm like, the day started with King Parrot and ended with Pantera, and you're going to be whining about it being not metal. Like, I'm sorry.
Know why? Because they could read every single band name. Or they could read
in what universe is a lineup of that not metal? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And just in case it's just to add a little bit of spice to it, we'll throw some speed on there as well, shall we? You said not heavy enough?
Like, and the hilarity is whenever those people are floating around on social media, they're the same kind of people that when they want to throw some bullshit conspiracy at you and you go, all right, well, where's your proof? They go, oh yeah, look it up yourself. I'm like, you talk to these people. I literally commented to this guy. I'm like, I don't know what universe you're living in where that lineup isn't metal, but I would love for you to tell me what you think is metal. Oh, I don't have to tell you shit, blah, blah, blah. Well, then fucking shut up. Like,
That's basically the conversation. Yeah. The end.
He could have at least come at you. I'm going to make my own festival. It's going to have blackjack and hookers.
Gonna make my own festival with black metal and church burnings. Some of these people. Yeah, all right, fair enough. So that's pop metal and dickheads who say that everything's not metal enough.
That's good.
What's next?
I'm going to say this is a hard one because it goes both ways. But I think the amount of social media, the amount that we know about artists these days, I think is too much.
Yep.
Well, when we were at school, Slipknot were a thing. Like, oh man, no one knows who they are. That was the mystery. It was brilliant.
That was so good. Had his rib taken out just like his own. I feel, and you couldn't just go and Google it and be like, oh no, that's not true. Like that. I think that was. Yeah.
Here's 5 pages that tell me it's a lie. Oh damn.
Those urban legends. Even we had one. We had one on here that was like debunked. From with 1 minute silence with Theftuous, the bird, the Slipknot bird.
Oh right, no, that was confirmed. That was confirmed. So like the crow in the jar.
Yeah, the crow in the jar.
The old crow in the jar one that was 100% true. We interviewed the guitarist from 1 Minute Silence who had toured with Slipknot in like the UK and Europe and I think a little bit in America, and he's like, that the bird was real. Like Clown made us take huffs from it before the show as well. And they went out and then when it kind of got too bad and they all went out together and buried it. And he's like, no, the bird was real. And we're like, fucking wow. Like that's just
what more do you say?
Yeah. But it was all cool shit like that. Like urban legends. They were urban. They were like our parents were scared of those boogeymen, and we just wanted to know more about them. While our parents thought they were the boogeymen, we were making friends with the creatures under our bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think that's very valid as well. I mean, you know, it's the amount of information you can access about people is a bit ridiculous these days, and like I think there is something to be said for the mystery of the band being there and not knowing a lot about them. Like there's a band we've reacted to a couple of times on the channel, a UK band called Black Gold, and they're sort of coming up, they're embracing like the new metal thing, and they are they completely conceal their identities, like head to toe covered. Everything is themed black and gold, but like gloves are worn, so you can't even see like hand tattoos or nothing. They're like everything is covered up. If it's not covered with a mask, it's covered with paint. And they do very, very limited press. They just don't, because they want it to be the music and the presentation of what they're putting forward, and that's it. They don't want anything else to be around it. And like there's got to be something said for that, like the ability of to do that and then just go about your life unbothered is you know, must be nice for them too, you know.
In the weirdest sense, an idea just popped into my head. It's almost like wrestlers. Do you know what I mean? You fall in love with the character and stuff like that. And the last thing you want to see, I guess, is your favorite metalhead. Oh, he's just been tagged at the Gap. Like, you know, shopping is just like, how not metal is that? And he's down there with his kids or some junk, and it's just like we don't need to know all these things all the time. But in the weirdest sense of a way, I guess we do want it, considering people can make a living off finding out these things.
Yeah.
Like there's more of a population that I guess care than us that don't.
Yeah. Like I think that I definitely think though that I don't know, maybe I just don't engage with a lot of it, but I feel like in the metal community we tend to be a little more respectful of that side of stuff too. Like there's obviously always going to be super fans, and that's always going to be a thing, but like I feel like we as a community are generally a bit more like I don't really care what they're doing in their other life, so it just doesn't get reported as much. You know, because they're people with their own lives, and I'm going to respect that. And
I'm going to say something real fucked up here.
Oh shit! All right, hang on, Carl, hang on. Let me make you big so that everyone can see you say this fucked up thing. Hold on.
I guess in the community where most of us have been disappointed by our parents, we learn not to meet our heroes very early on in life.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe that's a factor. Who knows?
It's like, you know what? You're awesome on stage. I'm just going to leave that fantasy right there. I'm not going to spoil it. Not going to peek behind that curtain.
And that's it. And I think for a lot of us as metalheads, we tend to just be happy with, you know, they're putting on that performance. I'm getting the cool music from them. That's it. Like, we don't need to know all their daily life shit. Yeah. Like the same way that fans of some other genres seem to obsess about, you know, what fashion designer are they wearing? What places are they going to? The closest we get is
going to have anyone worrying about their flight details at every second of the day, like they did with Taylor Swift and shit.
The closest we get is what gear are they using? We obsess about the gear because we want to recreate the sound. That's our obsession.
Yeah, show me the gear, then show me the budget version.
Yeah. Can I get like a Helix patch or something, or like a Kemper patch for that one, please? Or is there a Waves plug-in? You know.
Well, that was a funny thing. That was like the first time I saw Periphery. It was at it was like Petersham Hotel or something. One of those ones on Parramatta Road, tiny place. That Japanese band that were doing the traps around before. They were massive back in the day. I haven't heard from them in ages.
Wasn't Deer and Grey?
No, the other one. It was another one. But they did Prodigy covers and shit like that as well. But they were mad. And but after the set, Mish is packing down his own gear. They're all packing down their own gear because this was like early on in the Periphery days. And everyone's just like, what gear do you use? What gear do you use? And while Mish is sitting there packing down all his gear, he's just like, I use this, I use this, I use this, I use this. And that's exactly to what Raf said. It's just like, I don't give a shit how your day is. You just had a mad set. Your day is fucking awesome as far as I'm concerned. How'd you make it? How'd you make everyone feel so good?
That's pretty cool. All right, so round 2. What's the second picks?
Round 2.
Yeah.
See, mine's sort of linked to the first one, just cunts in general. The guys who, bands like Static X, who, sadly Wayne died. Zero's in there absolutely killing it, and you've got people going, nah, don't like it. It's not Wayne. It's like, yeah, he's doing a fucking good job though. Those people, they annoy me.
I mean, okay, I'll tell on myself a little bit here for that one. Like when they first revealed that they were going to be having someone wearing basically a Wayne Static death mask standing in, I'm not going to say I didn't say they shouldn't do it. I just said I felt uncomfortable about that. As if I'm like, and I didn't go to that first tour that they did out here like that, because I was just like, for me, I don't feel okay with that for me personally, and it was never like it's bad or they shouldn't do it necessarily, I guess, but it was just like, for me, I wasn't necessarily comfortable around that. And ultimately, after a lot of soul searching and thinking on it, I ended up deciding that what I think doesn't matter. It's just like if his family are okay with it and the band are okay with it, that's what matters more than anything else. And I kind of I warmed to the idea, and I did then actually last year when I was in the US got to go and see him, and now I will say I'm more comfortable with the fact that he's changed to like a cyborg type thing now. To me, I'm a lot more comfortable with that personally, but he's absolutely killing it. Like the stuff they've been releasing with Project Regeneration has been really, really cool. Slowly weaving more and more of his vocals into it in between the pre-recorded stuff that Wayne had done is a great sort of approach to it. And I mean, I don't know if they're going to go full original now. If they're going now that all of the stuff that Wayne's done is now going to be like, are they going to just start doing original stuff with that lineup as the thing going forward, or are they just going to be a legacy band and just play everything that's kind of already there?
Please just stay a legacy band. Don't ruin the legacy. Just stay a legacy band, please.
Yeah,
please.
They've got plenty of material that they can play.
That's it.
I love the idea that it's still going. Like the dream is still going with them. They're still, and they're not just sitting there going, "Oh yeah, we replaced Wayne. Oh yeah, replaced him."
Yeah,
they got someone to pay proper tribute to it.
That's it. And they're doing it the right way.
Yeah,
they're not.
So I was with Raph. I saw him on that first tour straight after it happened. Admittedly, I was more like, how could you do this? And I was like, I'm going and I'm going to give this one shot.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, I'm going to let people know. And I was blown away. I was just like, that could not have gone, in my eyes, that could not have been a more fitting tribute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the weirdest sense of a way, it seems like it seems like the idea was so good it was almost prefabricated. Like it was almost like something that might have been talked about in a drinking session or whatever session they, you know what I mean? Like this is something that might have been brought up in a conversation, and it works so well.
Yeah. And I think it's all done with love and respect from all the band members. Much more than, as opposed to, I mean, if we're being cynical about it, as opposed to the Pantera thing, which, is, I don't know. I suspect that that's, a lot more about the money and less about the legacy. But that's just my view. We're probably going to cop some hate for that one.
All in the comments, just ripping your shreds.
That's all right. Let them
probably,
go. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for.
I mean, I saw him at Knotfest Brisbane, and it was atrocious.
Oh, really?
Look, a lot of that was on the sound guy, but but it was not so good, Al. All right, we still got a couple more for round
Mine's
2.
done. I'm home free now.
I think mine is like the whole thing. Like, I don't know how long it's been going on, but I've only recently like come across in the last couple of months is people dissing bands. I've mentioned backing tracks earlier, like dissing backing tracks, like people saying that bands fucking shouldn't use them, this and that. Like, why? Like, you hear the song for the first time. So I Push It, for example, Static X Push It. We played it like our cover, our version. We played it both ways. It was cool just as the instrumental, but then when we threw them backing tracks in, it was fucking awesome. And be fucked if I'm going to have someone tell me, nah, you're not playing it because you got backing tracks. It's nah.
Yeah, but even something as simple as like Slipknot, where they've just got that little shaker sort of sound in the background.
Samples,
people like criticising all that shit. Like, nah, they shouldn't. Fuck off, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Oh, look, at the end of the day, there are purists out there. I get it. I don't know if Raph remembers. I still get shit about that click track thing from Decimator.
Yeah.
And that's actually come up in the Ram It Down thing where a couple of other bands that don't use click tracks now, I'm like, the conversation about click tracks come up all the time. Yeah. You know, like I'm all for them. You know, I just think that whatever advantage you can do. If you're a good enough musician to do it, hey, I know I'm not, but if you anything that can give you an edge, but yeah, like falls into the same vein. Man, if you
it's all tools. It's just what tools are available. Use them to the best of your ability. And if people don't want to use them, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. People want to be, we had Automation on last week, and that's like old school death metal, and they just get up there and it's just them and their guitars and basses and drums and their amps.
They don't even use effects pedals. They just plug straight into their. They just
go straight in, and it's just the amp distortion and amp distortion. That's it. That's what you get. They're not, and it's like cool. Like I dig that. There's absolutely something to be said for that.
Oh, of course.
But at the same time, they're not out there hating on people that are doing it a different way. Like I do, like my I play in a band called Nuclear Vision, and we have started using like click tracks and like a laid out set on the laptop. So there's like samples that play through the songs and in between sets, and there's a couple of spots where we're like, look, it's just a lot easier to have that guitar part on the backing track rather than having our guy try and fiddle around and change his patches and stuff and fucking with the sound guy's levels and everything. It's just all there. And like we don't run amps even. We just go, we're all digital from our stuff. Like I just run straight in from my thing, and that's got like a nice amp sim built into it. Guitarist does the same thing because it's just what works for us, and it's easier. And we've got this massive, just giant fucking in-ear rig. So why are we going to lug amps around on top of that as well?
That was like the selling point, wasn't it? Really, like we didn't want to lug the ring shit. So we're selling with the effects pedals and that, like. It's easy.
We've got the effects pedals, electric drums. We just plug everything into the computer, headphones on, and we can play for hours. My neighbours don't even know I'm in a band.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
You find most of those people that talk that much shit, unless you're Maruthan, in which case you're in a whole fucking league of your own.
Yes, yeah.
You aren't a touring band, and you don't know what it's like to be packing up and putting down, picking up and putting down and packing up and setting up and all this shit, and then driving it. It's like if you don't have amps and you don't have heads and shit like that, you're only taking a car. You can pretty much fit everything in a car, including the band.
Yeah,
like the amount of you got to think about this ergonomically and financially, the whole thing. Like
touring with amps in this economy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing especially with these petrol prices. Like, Jesus, we used to have to lug around a trailer.
Yeah,
like our bassist used to use a Ampeg fridge.
Yeah.
The 8-speaker one. Yeah, and both of our guitarists, one of them ran a full orange head and quad box, and then the other one ran a 5150 Mesa Boogie head with a I think it was a PV cab or something.
Yeah.
Then your drum kit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's insane. It's insane. And there's so many advances these days in the gear. Like, it's, you know, people will say they can tell. I don't think that anyone but the most discerning people can really tell.
Yeah.
I think if you genuinely did a blind A/B test, most people would not be able to tell the difference.
No.
And out of the people that can tell the difference, most of them are going to be musicians, and ultimately, you're not up there playing for the other musicians. You're up there playing for the fans. You're up there playing for the punters and the average the layperson in the crowd, which is what's important. And if your job and the sound guy's job can be made easier, like, that's one of the reasons, like, we run the in-ear rig, is because that way we don't have any amps on stage, we don't have any vocals coming through the foldback. So if the singer can, like, if he's, you know, doing his power poses and shit, and he puts his hand in a certain spot, it's not going to feed back, you know, all over the place, and it just makes everyone's life a lot easier. So, yeah, 100% agree. And last one.
Ooh. I'm gonna go probably the narrow-mindedness and negativity of some of the hardcore fans.
Yeah, hard agree.
Keep in mind, you know, not even just other forms of metal or other forms of music like we were talking about earlier.
Just not pop.
Just not. Yeah, I think whatever sounds good to you.
One of the funniest and best things I ever saw was Far West Battlefront played a show in town, and they had it all through the front of house, and they had Lady Gaga. Bad Romance just start cranking through the system, and all these dudes are going mental. Like, what's going mental? And then all of a sudden they got back on stage and just smashed this song out.
Oh, did they?
It was great. I mean, all these people were losing their minds over Lady Gaga. Even the sound guy sitting there going, "It's not me. It's not me. I'm not playing this."
That's awesome.
But that's, I mean, you know, you go to, I mean, that fucking Static X show that I was talking about, that I caught him in Cincinnati, and it was, you know, it was like Static X, Fear Factory, and Dope were the main bands, and like Sweet Caroline was playing over the PA system between bands, and like everyone's singing along. Because everyone's like, you know, and the amount of times when like metalheads, most decent metalheads love a good Britney Spears sing along, and it's just, you know, you just have fun with it. Like,
to be fair, I don't think I've ever not been to a massive show where they haven't played pop music in between sets and everyone's having a sing along.
Yeah,
it happens at least a couple of times when you're doing that. Yeah.
I mean, every time, what is it? Everything I touch, Electric Callboy. Is that the one?
Oh yeah.
Every time that comes on, I'm like, I'm not skipping this.
Yeah.
Crank it. I must be driving down the street. People looking at me real weird.
I've got to ask one question. If you guys have sort of gone down mucking around doing covers and stuff like that, has there ever been the thought of taking pop songs and turning them into metal songs to throw into your covers set?
Well, I have a Spotify playlist that I've been cultivating to present to the guys and say, like, what do you think we do?
You know what you should do, though? You should just start with just one. Just start with one and just sneak it in there.
Go in the water.
And just like,
exactly, absolutely, yeah.
And just do that. Like, I've, you know, or something that I've like over the last few years, I've gotten really into mashups, right? And there's some great ones out there, and there's an amazing one where they've taken Toxic by Britney Spears and put it over the music from Change in the House of Flies by Deftones.
Oh yeah,
and it fits so perfectly. And I've honestly been like I wanted to do that version with a band that I was in, like, because as well as Nuclear Vision, I used to be in a grunge band up until sort of last year, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that live. You know, like crazy shit like that. You know, mash up a pop song with an existing metal song or things like that. I think it's just there's so much fun to be had with it, and I reckon, I think that'd be really, really cool if you guys are able to pull some shit like that off. Maybe look, it's a few months. It's a few months until Metal to the Max. Like, you guys have got time.
Because that's a big thing. I mean, if you're going to do the cover thing, I mean, I'm all for if you're gonna do it, lean into it and just do it. Just try and think outside the box.
Yeah.
Because because you know who are really sick for it, and this is Disturbed at the end of every single album that they do, they put a cover on.
Yeah.
Most of their albums have got a cover somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, they've done a few,
Yes,
yeah.
it just so happened they finally hit with one. But if you have to actually go back, Disturbed nail covers.
Oh, yeah.
Like Disturbed can really like flip a song really well.
Land of Confusion, like that was a Genesis song.
Yeah.
And they absolutely smashed it. It was fantastic.
Well, I mean, even the first album, they had Shout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Shout,
you know, Tears for Fears, like that's just wild. But all right, there we go. So that was the that was Get in the Bin with Pit Vipers. Thank you very, very much for your time, gentlemen. We thank you very much for watching. By the way, we're going to have all sorts of links to all the cool stuff. We're going to have the links to Metal to the Max. We're going to have the links to Pit Vipers socials. And thank you very much for watching. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody. Take care of yourselves.